This podcast is recorded at the Zone Gym studio.
You're listening to the Raw Reality Podcast hosted by Tori Story and Fit with Lily. So, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
I'm excited for this episode.
So am I. This was actually inspired by our manager,
Yes.
Amelia, but based off the fact that you guys loved, what was like a couple episodes ago?
It was a girl club question, I think.
Yeah, and we're talking about libido. So we thought we'd like dive into like libido, hormones, PCOS, and just like, obviously we're not health professionals, but we have had our fair share of experiences with libido, obviously me with PCOS, and just as females with hormones.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to put a disclaimer in at the start saying that like we are not educated on this topic in a scientific degree, anything like that. So everything we're saying is come from our own research or opinion. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
But we hope that you enjoy this episode.
But first things first,
Yeah.
let's do a little catch up.
It's raining.
It has not stopped raining. Do you know since I've been in Melbourne, it's rained maybe twice.
That's wild because whenever I'm there, it's probably the days that it's rained.
And then I come home and it has not stopped raining.
Yeah.
I hope it stops this afternoon just so we can take the dog for a walk.
That's what I don't care about. Like normally on weekends, sometimes I'm like, I love the rain so you can just get in trackies. But at the moment, I'm not getting my steps in. And I'm like, it hits like 5.
You probably do need to get a walking pad at your house.
I bought one off Finlay.
Oh, nice.
So she's now moved into an apartment.
Yeah.
So she's left the walking pad there. So I just bought it off her.
Yeah.
And then today I said to Cade, because we had the keys for like a week. And then I was like, oh, can we go get it today? Because it's raining all week. He's like, I gave the keys back yesterday for the bottom clean. It sounds really confusing because his house isn't ours yet, but we know the people. So yeah.
Annoying. But
annoying.
anyway, it is what it is. How have you been?
I've been okay. I'm getting my period like tomorrow.
Any second
I'm
now.
like, or maybe tonight. Tomorrow and next day we'll see, and I can tell it's coming now. I was like, my PMS symptoms have been great this time, and then it's now just hit me. But it's better. It hasn't been the whole week. It's mainly yesterday and today specifically. Kate said it's been the whole week, so maybe I just haven't known. I'm very irritable and very just like flat, just like the standard girl things. Recovery is so low. We went to soak last night to try and like help recovery and just like feel better, and I definitely did. But I woke up still like exhausted. My legs are sore, and my recovery is still under 50%, which is crazy because it's been now. I think I'm up to my 5th day of it being under 50 or at least under 60, and my sleep performance is 90%. Like my sleep is really good. So I kind of went deeper on the Whoop, and it basically said that I'm in the high stress zone pretty much like the whole day, and that is what is taking my percent down.
Did you pick your nails off?
So yeah.
Because you had them done like yesterday or Friday.
So I had them done a week ago.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
the reason being, if one goes,
They all go.
They
Yeah,
all go.
so fair. I agree.
and I'm confused why they all came off so easy, including the thumbs.
Yours always come off so easy. I don't get it.
Yeah. Because I bite my nails and pick my skin so bad that I think naturally I do it
My
without
skin
meaning it.
picking today actually they look not bad. Yeah, my skin picking is so bad. I think this thing is actually infected because it's all red around my finger. I also think my knuckle's broken.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because the bruising is just like still
Yeah, that
there.
looks so painful.
And it's sore like right in there. So anyway,
I just really want to not have nails for a while,
yeah.
but I know I'm going to try
Do
so
it for a
hard.
bit.
But I just bite them, and I'm going to try really, really hard, but they're getting really flimsy and unhealthy, and I just want to have nice, natural nails.
Yeah.
So I'm going to really, really try. I'm telling you guys, hold me accountable. I'm going to try and not bite my nails.
Yeah, just try.
Just try. Anyways, that's me. We're just waiting for this period to come, then I'll be flying colours again.
Yeah, truly. So weekend at home, absolutely stunning. So I feel like I've come to a few realizations in the past 24 hours.
I'm ready.
Did I mention on the last part about like worlds being like pushed back?
Yeah, but the date hasn't been.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, like I don't know what I can and can't say, but like I'm just gonna say whatever.
I feel like you
wanna
can say everything.
Yeah. So like Worlds has actually definitely been pushed back since like the last I spoke to you guys about it, which like isn't ideal.
It was meant to be in April or May,
Yeah.
and now it's September.
Yeah.
For relevance. Next year.
Yeah. 2026. And obviously it's something I want to do. Obviously I would love to finish off the cycle, but like there's a lot to consider, and it's not just me being a 19-year-old that's like every sport is everything. Like I have a life, a partner, we have a business, I have a dog. Like there's just a lot more to like consider now, and just that extra few months is a lot. And I think what I've like obviously I love acro, but like as I mentioned in the episode where we did the connection cards, like it's not benefiting my future in the sense that like I'm not going to be a coach anymore.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for me, and as I said, I feel like it's already healed so much in me, just like rewriting that relationship, or even just like the story of me with my sport. But I definitely think the biggest thing I'm like is something to train for. And
100%.
And having training, like I love training hard.
I think deep down that's the reasoning. Actually, like, yes, you wanted to close that chapter,
Yeah.
but I also think like every single time it's like you're either training for, I don't know, what was the thing you did?
Running?
No.
With acro, you mean?
No.
Turf games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like something like that to train
Yes.
for.
So I'm just like trying to, okay. So I actually spoke to my physio because I was talking to my physio about you.
Right.
And talking about bodybuilding and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should like do it. Like, why wouldn't you do it? And I was like, look, the reason I said I wouldn't do it is because like I feel like I would get addicted to stage lean.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would do one, and I said this to Jackson last week. He's like, you're not doing it. But I would do one ICN.
Okay.
Just,
I could
just
see
for
you
fun.
doing fitness, ICM.
Yeah.
Or sports fitness.
Just for like, again, one something to train for. And it's still that stage like feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why not? It'd be
Okay.
kind of fun. Anyway, but that's the
really
later
fun.
time.
I reckon that would be a sleigh.
And I would have you,
Yeah.
like, whatever.
And you wouldn't even have to touch your upper body. You'd just be training glutes.
Yeah, pretty much. Opposite to you.
Literally opposite to me.
Which is really interesting because I hate training glutes.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
It would be like me at the very start of my, like 3 years ago, I had hip thrust 4 times a week. It was
Well, I don't mind
the
hip thrust,
worst.
but
It worked
shit.
though, so now I have it once a week.
Yeah. So anyway, that's been on my mind.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing is something to train for. And we've tried running. It's not my thing.
Nah.
Would love to do high rocks. Again, not my thing. But I think that's like one of the biggest things that's come from this is like, I love to train hard. And I was literally even speaking about this at the footy yesterday with the girls. Like when you've grown up as an athlete, like having the accountability of like your coach, your team, obviously like you have the discipline to train for yourself, but like it can get repetitive if you don't have anything to train for or like someone to hold you accountable or whatnot. And I think as an athlete, just having that goal or like whatever, it's just like always there. 100%. I remember we were saying on the cruise, because I was like already thinking about after acro, like what the fuck am I going to do? I'm like, well, I have to have a kid so then I can train like postpartum to like get back into fitness.
I think also you almost need to come to a point of like actually still being happy not training for anything.
Yeah,
I think
I have to at some point. Like we all do.
I think that's the underlying reasoning why like you're trying to find something to train for. Whereas then you're going to get to a point where you're just not happy even training for something because then it's just you're just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
But then I can't comment because I'm the same. So.
Yeah. So that's that. We're just going to ride the wave and see what happens. I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of conversations in the next couple of weeks about, I guess, after
We spoken to
Europe.
Jackson yet? About it?
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Yeah. Any tears yet? Since being home?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Wanted to in acupuncture.
Okay, yeah.
Wanted to in the car today, but couldn't be fucked.
Do you just say no tears and then you say 1 or 2 yeah, 1 or 2 yeah?
No, I haven't cried.
Oh.
I wanted to. Like I could have.
Okay, yeah.
But I just was like, no.
Okay. Okay.
So that is that.
Yeah.
And then my last thing, which is like I'm full circling at the moment. I just like we all know I've always been clucky, but like just really clucky.
Really?
And we just went shopping before and we're in the lift and there was a little a couple with a like pretty fresh newborn, and Jackson's standing behind me in the lift and he like grabbed my bum and he was like, look at the bub. And I was like,
you like don't that's why. That is why.
And I've just been, I don't know why, so observant of just like families and babies.
I have as well.
Yeah.
I have as well. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just like the midst of like being literally getting ready to go compete at the World Cup, but also ready for the next chapter, but also just don't fucking know.
Okay.
Literally mid-20s, don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like.
But I think that's the best thing about being in your mid-20s. There's so many things you can do. Like.
Yeah.
There's opportunities are endless, even though it actually feels chaotic majority of the time. Yeah.
So that's my life
So
update.
live,
Live, laugh, love. Got a new top and pants. Really happy about it.
I need to go. I'm so excited to this next week, Monday through to Friday. Actually, I only have like 5 nights after home because we're in Melbourne on the weekend.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, but I'm excited to chuck half my clothes out.
Yeah.
They're all old. Don't like them anymore.
You need to get that girl that comes and organises.
No, she's so expensive.
Oh, really?
I asked someone. Well,
you know what?
The girl.
You could pay me half and I would do it.
Do you know what she? No, literally. You know what she said?
How much was it?
She was like, so I spoke to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she was.
You know there's cameras on.
Yeah, but like whatever. And she was like, it's actually like so good. She did 3 to 4 of our rooms and we got like a really good price. It's like $4,000 was fine to organize. I was like, and you know, I had to act like, I was like, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that's so much. I was
Literally.
like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, Kate and I just looked at each other. We're like,
Mate, I would do it for 500.
Same. I thought she was going to say like 1,000 max.
That is
$4,000 for
wild.
organisation.
So maybe that is
That's what I said.
Maybe
That's
I
your calling.
should.
That should be your business in the future. And you already have really good connections with people. I honestly think so. Anyways, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
I would rather
I will literally come up and do it.
I know you will.
Because I will enjoy it.
I know you will.
Okay, cool.
I'll be like downstairs cooking dinner or something and I'll just walk upstairs and you're like hanging my clothes up. You and my mum would love that together.
Have the best time.
So yeah.
Crazy.
Anyways, very keen for that.
Anyway, that's pretty much all our updates.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kind of like not much happened. Oh, actually I spoke at my coach's business event yesterday.
Yes.
Which was really fun. Super easy. I spoke about my journey with like online coaching. Normally I speak about like my bodybuilding experience. So it's fun to kind of like flip that and speak more so about online coaching and what to do and what not to do. And then I'm going to Melbourne with her this coming weekend and we're basically
When do you fly in?
Saturday morning.
Yep.
And I leave Sunday night.
Yep.
Yeah.
So very quick.
Very quick.
Yep.
Yeah. Low-key wish like it was even like a day. The Sunday. But then I'm like, I really want to see my cousin's baby and I really want to go watch Acro comp. So I'm like,
yeah.
Is what it is. Anyways.
Slay the day. All right, let's jump straight into it. We, as we said, talking about libido, PCOS, hormones, all the things. And as we said, this is very much based on our experiences and just what we've learnt through ourselves, but also like clients or friends or socials, whatever it is. And I just think it's a conversation that needs to be had more because I think we've spoken about multiple times before how growing up in like our past relationships, if our libido was low, you just felt like so shit.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we didn't know that our libido was low. You just assumed that like you didn't want sex with your partner and then your partner would crack it. And just like, I feel like it's a very common occurrence that no one talks about.
Especially with girls.
Yes. And like younger relationships, I feel. So, and just like if you've ever felt off and like disconnected from your body, it's just like it's a mind fuck, I would say. So I want to just kind of touch on that and like, obviously this episode's for the girlies.
Yeah.
So if you're males, hi bye.
Hi bye,
Or
sweetie.
actually, no, to be honest, it'd probably be good for you to listen to.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a relationship and you're a male and you're like, my partner doesn't want to have sex with me, and you're like, they hate me, they are not attracted to me, like it's actually probably not the reason. So you could probably stay and listen, to be honest.
Great point.
But anyway, what is libido?
It's basically your natural sex drive or desire for someone. It can be high, it can be low, it can be normal, it can fluctuate so much. Not only can it fluctuate from like person to person, but majority it would be like from day to day, week to week, month to month. It depends on what is happening within your life at the time. So much can affect it as well, like your stress, your sleep, your food, your training, like literally a million things, just like things can affect the scale. Exactly the same with your libido.
Yeah. And what I learned is, again, I found out about my libido when I was in my ex-relationship and there was just so many times where I just like didn't want sex or would just kind of have it because we hadn't had it in ages and I felt bad and I wasn't enjoying it. And it would like come to like, it would always come to an argument of like him being, you're not attracted to me, you don't love me anymore. And it was always that. And I'm like, I'm attracted to you and I love you. I don't want to have sex. Like, I don't want anyone touching me. Like, it's a whole thing. And it just kept becoming a thing. And no one, again, like, it wasn't something you spoke about to, like, your mum or your friends because weird. And then, obviously, he didn't know why. So you just kind of kept it in. But when I went on, I guess, the journey of weight gain, acne, hormone imbalances, missed periods and things like that was when I discovered I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which we'll get into a little bit later. But when I was learning about PCOS, I then learned about libido and how much not only PCOS can affect it, but all the things you mentioned, sleep, training, etc., which was a mixture of everything. Not only did I have PCOS, but I was undereating, overtraining, barely sleeping, drinking, like every part of the pie was basically being used, I would say, in this situation.
You guys know how busy Tori and I have been lately, and Papa Macros have been a time saver. They are a meal prep company that delivers ready-to-go meals straight to your door.
One thing that we love most is their clean ingredients, not using any seed oils or preservatives, which can be common amongst ready-to-go meals. The macros are incredible and they have over 70 meals on the menu with different categories to fit your current goals.
Lucky for you, we have partnered with Papa Macros, so if you're struggling with meal prep, poor on time, or just wanting to switch it up, they are the perfect addition to your weekly plan. Just use code RAWREALITY for a discount on your next order. And you'll never get tired of eating the same meals as they update the menu every month, so the variety is never ending. We hope you enjoy.
So yeah, for me, that was like an understanding that libido is can be a lot of a deeper issue. Yeah. And a lot of people think it's like a quick fix, but it probably means that something else is going on inside your body.
100%. My experience with it is I find it plays so much within my cycle. So it's like literally goes with my cycle each month because I have a very consistent, healthy cycle, I would say.
Which I say I again, don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like that's fairly normal.
That is, it's like meant to be like that. So the reason being is your body, obviously when you're ovulating, your body wants sex because it wants to have a baby. Yeah. So it's wanting to do that so your libido increases. Then when I enter like my luteal and like my menstrual cycle, I'm like, feel disgusting. I'm like, I do not want it.
Touch me.
It goes down and then it comes back up again. So like it's a cycle throughout that period. But equally, what I've also really noticed is through prep, it obviously goes down because your body's desire, well, like it's kind of very similar to your period when you are like training a lot and you're starting to get depleted. It's the last thing you want to do because you're exhausted and your body also has zero carbs. So like it's not really thinking about having babies. So naturally your libido is gone because your body doesn't want kids. So I even find, now this happened obviously last prep, I was dead single, but my very, very first one, if you want my mum, please don't listen to this. And I know she's just going to make a group chat again and text, but it's really interesting. So my very, very first prep, I could not orgasm at all at the end. Like no matter how I tried, even like by myself, I couldn't do it. A month after comp, it came back, which was so weird. I know. So I'm like, so it's not only did I not want to sex, I really even struggled to finish. So yeah.
It is very interesting. Mm-hmm. And like obviously in prep, you're at such a low body fat.
Yeah.
Everything's out of whack.
You also feel like a pubescent child. You're just like, you could literally snap me in half. Feels illegal.
Literally. So we've got like a little list here of like what affects libido. First thing first being, as we've mentioned, hormones. So menstrual cycle, birth control, PCOS, menopause, which I would say like those, especially like PCOS, is going to be a very deep-rooted issue that needs to be treated to the root cause 100%. To be able to fix that. And like potentially everyone's going to be different. And I would say the more I treated my gut and my PCOS, my libido has gotten way better.
Yeah, because you used to really struggle with it.
Really struggle.
Yeah.
And I would say that, I mean, now being in long distance, it's like as soon as I'm home, we make the most of it, obviously. But even like last weekend, we hadn't seen each other for 2 weeks and then I got my period like day one of comp. So it was just like not in the mood, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're not like like me and Jackson, we're not like super high, like obsessed with sex. Like it's like I love it for the connection and like those moments, but it's not, we're not doing it 3 times a day, you know?
Yeah, I know. I also find though, the more you have it, the more you want it.
Yes, so the less you have it, the less you want it.
100%. If you go a week without it, I could probably then go the rest of the month without it.
Yeah.
If I've already had it like a few times a week, I probably want it a few more times before the week ends.
And that's one thing I feel like I had to do was like when I would go through phases of like not wanting it all, I would sometimes, again, listening to my body, but sometimes have to force myself to have it. Mm-hmm. And then I would be like, oh, I actually want it more.
Well, majority of the time, I find with females, now I could be wrong, but this is majority like with Tori and I, not that you don't want it, but when you start, then you're like, oh, now I'm really in it. But before you're not really like, oh my God, like I need you now. Whereas I feel like guys' desire and lust is a lot higher than females. Whereas females really play off connection. Yeah. So it's like when I feel connected to you, then I want it. And that tends to happen halfway through.
Yeah, 100%. Then we've got mental health. So obviously anxiety, depression, stress, is going to play a big role.
Stress is my biggest one. If I am like, I can be like sad or down, whatever, that doesn't really affect me too much. Stress is like my biggest turn off because I'm constantly thinking about something else and I'm not in that very moment and I want to be doing everything else on my mind rather than having sex. But then I know other people are opposite, and when they're stressed, they're like, I need to take my mind off my stress, so I want to have sex.
Yeah. It's a tricky one sometimes. Next one.
Lifestyle. So overall, your training, your lack of sleep, your poor nutrition, alcohol, drugs, all of those things play a factor. It just goes into your overall health of your body. The healthier you are as a human, minus all of like your PCOS and hormones and things like that, the more your libido is going to be like that baseline level, the healthy level. If you find you're constantly going out on the weekends or your nutrition is really, really poor, lack of sleep, your libido is going to naturally go down because you're not looking after yourself. So your body doesn't feel as good.
We have a lot of notes here. I just want to scroll down because I remembered I will have a recommendation at the end.
I think a few of them blend.
Yeah. Okay, stunning. Okay, this one I feel like is a huge one is linking it to fitness. So whether you're overtraining and just, which again comes back to stress on the body because, I feel like stress comes from so many different things.
Yeah.
But overtraining can be a massive one. And then again, like body fat is huge, plays a huge role in it as well.
Yeah. Then finally, relationship factors. So overall, your emotional like intimacy, your connection, your resentment, your boredom, like there's going to be so many different things. Also in relationships, you're going to go through times where things are just kind of like, not bored, but you just like your normal couple, and then you're going to go where you're obsessed with each other, and then you go back down to that housemate type vibe. Like it is a never ending cycle.
I feel like before I moved to Melbourne, Jax and I were very much like housemates. Like it was, we have a great relationship and we always have, but it was like working so much, just like footy training this, doing our thing. And then it was like we get home, we're so exhausted and you just eat and you go to bed.
Yeah.
So I think, and, we've done long distance before, and I think this time around, like, it's made me just more obsessed with him.
Yeah.
And, like, I come home and I want every second with him that I can. And, like, it does make you realize, like, how good you have and how lucky you are.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, like, in my past relationship, I know you probably relate to this too, a lot of the time I do think libido comes from, like, a deeper rooted issue. But then I think a lot of people try and potentially use that as a cop-out because they're potentially not in love with their partner anymore or like not attracted to them. And obviously that's a huge thing. Like if, over time you've started to like fall out of love with them or you don't find them as attractive, like that's hard to admit to not only yourself, but obviously to them. So I either think you can use one or the other as an excuse to kind of cover it up. So it's obviously important to acknowledge that as well because you don't want to be feeling that way in a relationship, and that's going to play a massive role in your libido as well.
1000%.
Yeah.
That's also why they're like, I'm excited to move in with Cade now because when I'm at like my house or his house, I feel like we can only do it like late at night and that connect. I'm exhausted at night and I'm like, I just want to fucking go to sleep. He's kind of very similar. I don't like morning sex at all.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I'm just like, I feel gross in the morning.
Yeah.
Unless like there'll be like sporadic occasions.
I love a morning if we've slept in and laid in bed for a bit.
Yeah. Rather than
not first thing it's 5 a.m.
No, literally no. 4 p.m. is my go-to time.
Yeah, before dinner.
Yes, the best time. But then it's literally impossible for us to do that at 4 p.m. these days. So I'm like, give me 1 week, and it's going to be so much better. Yeah. So it's also just like with that connection too, finding what works both for you. And one more thing I want to touch on this is actually, you know what? That's going to come down later.
Okay,
let's go next.
And just quickly as well, which we haven't touched on, but burnout is a massive thing.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, like we've spoken about, like overtraining, undereating, all the things, but you might have like not an issue with your libido. Like your libido might be absolutely fine, and then you just go through a really rough month where you're super burnt out and your libido is completely low. Yeah. It literally might just be that time of your life where you're maxing out with work or you're training for like your competition is just getting closer or I don't know, whatever it is that's going on in your life, you might just have a really tough month. And so I think it's important to also like ride the wave and be really aware of what's going on in your life as you kind of go through these changes. Because I think as females, like it's just always going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So how do we support a healthy libido? Number one, balance your training. Yeah. Like a very simple one. Recovery is key. Don't overtrain and feel good.
I think when dealing with something like libido, if you're really struggling with it, look at the things you can change for free and that you can change that are in like your control instantly. So like you just said, training and nutrition, I think are the two things you can change instantly.
Yeah.
Obviously they take time to make the changes and see the changes, but you can instantly start to put things in process to change. So obviously like Lil said, if you're training too much, let's just pull it back a little bit. Eating your food, like being really, really educated around your food, what your body needs in order to support. Like I personally have quite a high fat diet because I want to support my hormones. A lot of other people, like you have a higher carb diet.
Yeah, a
so
fat
well,
diet.
yeah. So it's just like what your body needs, and I know for my hormones, like I need higher fat.
Yeah.
So it's just like again knowing what your body needs and knowing like why these things are happening.
Yeah.
Stress.
The next one is managing stress.
Yeah.
Whether that
Which
is
is
like
just so annoying when people say stress less and just manage your stress. How the fuck am I doing that?
No, Kate said that to me yesterday. So sometimes when I'm like very anxious, I struggle with regulating my emotions. I'm not very good at like managing my anxiety. He's very much of like, why are you feeling this way? Let's fix it. And he was like, why are you stressed? I'm like, I don't know. Why are you anxious? I don't know. So you have nothing to be anxious about. I'm like, I don't know why I feel this way. Well, you can't feel that way if you don't know why you're feeling that way. I'm like, oh my Lord.
But then that's like stress, yes, but anxiety, like deep-rooted anxiety can come from quote unquote nothing.
Yeah.
Like you can just genuinely feel fucked.
I was like,
and
this
not know
heart
why.
is just beating fast for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening actually. That's why.
Yeah.
But I also feel like guys just don't understand as much as girls with that.
Yeah.
Or they just internalize it actually. It's more so what it is.
Yeah, that's also true. Your sleep. Again, another
That's my
thing that you
biggest
can
one.
adjust and control yourself. Your most important hours are from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Like we should be asleep by 10. Personally, I'm not currently. 10 to 2 are your most important hours. So trying to really make sure that that's where you're getting good hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And trying to be consistent hours every night and like sleep and wake up times.
Yeah.
It's something I'm trying to focus on because like inevitably I'm going to be in bed late in Melbourne. Like it's just the way it is. So yes, I'm probably asleep by 11, sometimes 12, but I'm making sure like it's as early as I can, but I'm waking up at the same time, like 7 every day.
I didn't realize how important waking up at the same time is. It's a stat on your Whoop
Yeah.
saying that like how consistent you are with your wake up time. So I really try to wake up like at the moment around like this at least the 6 a.m. mark.
Yeah.
If I need to sleep in, like I will, but honestly I don't really sleep past then. I'll probably just nap in the day instead.
Yeah.
Unless I'm in Melbourne, then see you later. I'm done.
Yeah,
7:30.
literally.
The next one is just be kind to your body. I find when I don't feel confident within myself, my libido is downhill because I'm like,
100%.
don't look at me, don't touch me.
Because
You're
if
gonna
you're
hate me.
like, if you don't feel confident in yourself, you're like, you think your partner, let me start again. If you don't feel confident in yourself, in your head, you're like, well, why would my partner love me? Why would my partner want to have sex with me? And that's something I think I've struggled with a lot is if I'm not confident in who I am and how I'm feeling, I don't think he wants to have sex with me, which is like a huge thing. And it's obviously not true because he's with us.
Yeah.
Well, he's with you.
He's with us.
He's not with us. He's with me. But he's with you for like who you are. And again, like when you can tying this whole thing back to like confidence outside of this, but like when you can be confident in who you are, and sure, you might have a bad day and you might feel a little bit bloated the next day, but they don't see that.
No,
They
they
do not
literally,
notice that.
guys have no idea if you're bloated or not. Kay doesn't know if I have makeup on or not. So the other day I said I have to go take my makeup off and he goes, you're not wearing any. I'm like, I literally have a full face of makeup on. Like, I don't know what you think I look like normally, but I go slay.
Kate, Jackson just notices the size of my boobs actually. Guys, okay, so let me just tell you a story. So like I've never had boobs. Like A cup for life, double A, love it. Personally, absolutely love my small boobs. When I gained weight a few years ago, I gained obviously fat in my boobs. So my boobs grew quite a bit. And we've seen that happen to you through the prep off season. But my boobs were very quick to like drop weight. And then the other night I'm tanning, Lily and I in the bathroom tanning. I tanned her back and then she got changed and then she was tanning my back. And I'm standing there naked in the bathroom and my boobs literally looked like half popped balloons that were just like had been there for a week. And you know when they go really saggy and they look sad, but they're still a little bit inflated? That's literally what it was. And I was like, Jackson, come in here. And he was like, oh, that's just so embarrassing. And I was like, and so I always joke, I'm like, fine, I'll get a boob job. And he was like, no, don't get a boob job forever. Like that's always been the joke we made. I'm like, fine, I'll get one. He's like, no, don't. This was the first time he was like, yeah, like you probably should. I was like, actually
He was on one that night. I don't know
he kept
what
going. There was
happened.
more things, and I was just like, and you wonder why I'm insecure in our relationship. Thank you.
I think he's redeemed himself the last few days, but that was just
No, and then this morning,
Oh, no.
because I called my mum for Mother's
Yeah.
Day, and then she was
the
like,
biggest stress in your life.
oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that. But he, mum was like, Happy Mother's Day to you. Like, you're a mum too. Where's he? Like, joking around. And then we were in the kitchen, said something about being a mum. He was like, you're not even a mum. And I was like, excuse me? And then we got in the car and I just looked at him like with the biggest like death stare. And he was like, what? I was like, you just said I wasn't a mum. I have a son. His name is Siggy. He is my son.
Yeah.
Without me, he doesn't have a mum.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're his dad. He's like, I'm a DILF. And I was like,
God.
so what am I then? He was like, well, you're a MILF. And I was like, I'm a mum. He was like, no, you're a MILF. And he tried to like fully backtrack. And I was just like, not having it. Anyway, guys, Jackson's in the doghouse. But
basically just feel confident within yourself because I know it makes the biggest difference. And also, guys think it's the sexiest thing if a woman is confident in themselves.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
Bam.
And then a huge one is like talking to your partner, being open and communicating because, again, if you don't know why it's happening, it's very hard to understand. So the conversation that I used to have with my ex just like ended up in a fight because I didn't know why. You're obviously assuming the worst. But now I am so aware of it and I've done the research. I've had the experience with it. So if it was ever happen, I just straight up be like, Jackson, like, I think my hormones are a bit out. Like, it's nothing to do with you. This is just how I'm feeling. Like, the more you can be open and communicate is going to be the biggest thing.
It's also not taking things from like your past relationship into your next one because there was so much that happened in my last one that I like at the very start I was like did certain things to like protect myself in a way that like wouldn't affect me in the past relationship, but knowing that like people are completely different and how you experience things before doesn't mean you're going to experience it that again. So if you love the person, let your walls down, don't carry what you had in the past relationship into the bedroom with this one. And yeah.
A few misconceptions and myths. And we've got about 5 here. Low libido means something is wrong with you. No, absolutely not. Yes, there probably is a deeper issue, as we've mentioned, but it's something that can be reversed and fixed. And with putting in the work and working on your inside, it can be changed.
Men want more sex than women.
Something I feel like I grew up around, like just thinking.
Yeah.
Not true.
Ever since it's kind of like being in our friendship group, also I'm just like, not true.
Not
true.
Yeah.
This is someone else and I'm like, not true.
100%. It should always be spontaneous. Desire often.
Spontaneous.
What did I say?
Spontaneous.
I hate that word. It should always be spontaneous in quotation marks. Desire often needs context and connection.
Okay, I low-key sometimes like when it's planned.
Yeah.
Like if you text me being like 4 p.m. come over like a booty call, I like that
like
so
a
much
booty
more.
call in a relationship is kind of fun.
Yeah, because then you're also like, I'm prepared. I know what I'm in for. I'm going to feel confident because I've gone to brush my teeth before. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to feel good going in. If it's like all of a sudden, sometimes it's so spontaneous. You just had a huge dinner. Your hair's like a mess and you're like, now?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
So that's how I'm like, sometimes
I think a good
planned,
mix.
100%
Yeah.
mix. If it's always planned, that's interesting.
Yeah, 100%. You need to orgasm every time or something's wrong.
Oh, yeah. I feel like this one comes from men basically do every time.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Well, I feel like
that's how
they just get sore if they don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For women, I think it's very different.
I can enjoy sex without it. And like, it sometimes it adds to it, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes so if I like finish and then I'm like, I just want to stop immediately. I don't want it anymore after that. Sometimes I'm like, I force myself not to so then I can enjoy it for longer.
Keep going, yeah. Fuck, what was I going to say? It just escaped my memory. Oh, I can't remember. I think I was, no.
Okay, cool.
It's gone. Yeah. Anyway, there are a few myths and misconceptions where I feel like a lot of you can probably relate to.
Yeah.
Just like quickly touching on PCOS, and again, this is very much based off like my experience with it, but PCOS can come with a lot of things. And I'm not going to speak on endometriosis because I haven't had that personally, but I know a lot of people have struggled with very similar symptoms to PCOS. But with polycystic ovarian syndrome, obviously it's not obviously, but it's an imbalanced whoa, guys, she is struggling. I need an oxy shred.
Yeah.
It's an imbalance hormone dysfunction. And so it can cause a lot of things with like periods, acne, weight gain, hair growth, fatigue, like so many things. But a massive marker with PCOS is changes in libido.
Yeah.
So, and that was like something I learned. And as soon as I found that out, I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. And obviously having PCOS isn't ideal. It's not great, but I don't know the stat exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's 1 in 5.
I believe it is.
Yeah. I diagnosed with PCOS, and I've always been told it's not curable, it's treatable. From where I stand right now, I feel like I've somewhat cured mine. And from mine, like you have to have so many different symptoms to diagnose it. And I had every single symptom outside of like my ovaries, and then they checked my ovaries and I had like 70 cysts on my ovaries, cleared them all. So, you know, I think how you look at it, how you treat your body is going to be different for everyone. But obviously like PCOS doesn't look the same for women. And this was something that was really interesting, but some women have high testosterone, others have insulin resistance. Some don't ovulate regularly and some do. So
do you have high testosterone?
yes, but I also have did have insulin resistance. I haven't had my bloods done for a good little bit, probably due just to see where I'm at. But always had high testosterone, and
Plus she has great arms. And
but I notice it with like hair growth, like very lucky and grateful I don't get hair growth on my face, but a lot of women can literally have full grown hair growth on their face. But I noticed changes in like how quick my armpit underhair grows.
Right.
And downstairs as well.
Yeah.
Like I can just tell a little bit when like my hormones are out. And then all of that can have a huge ripple effect on your sex hormones, which is estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, which can all impact your libido.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of PCOS. I basically had post-pill PCOS, but
That's
equally, insulin resistant PCOS. So there's just like I literally had everything under the sun that came with PCOS. So very grateful to be where I am now and like have done the work. But again, if you're someone that struggles with PCOS, like there's a lot that goes into it. And I don't think something's wrong with you. Like we can get there.
Yeah.
With the
and
right
it also
work.
takes time. I think it's very much a patient
100%.
game. Everyone wants the results right now, but it's like years of work you've gotten where you are
Well, it
now.
started in 2018.
Yeah.
Like we're in 2025.
Yeah. And don't look at it as like, oh my God, I have years. It's like, what can I do today to help myself for tomorrow?
Yeah. And that turns into 5 years later and you're like, oh my God, I've done the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just break down your hormones and how they impact your sex drive. Starting off with estrogen. So this helps keep things juicy, like literally. It helps your vaginal lubrication, mood, and energy.
Yeah.
We love some estrogen as females.
We do. I feel like because of this journey, like I still get it like confused. I still get confused whether I've got too much of this, too less of that.
Yeah.
Like it is very confusing and they all basically sound the same. But it is really important to wrap your head around it as much as you can when you are on that like healing journey, whether that be for just your libido or if it's entirety of PCOS or like whatever it is really important to like understand these things. Again, nearly 10 years in, still learning.
Yeah.
So there's that. Then you have your testosterone, which a lot of people hear testosterone, they think men.
Yeah. They think muscle, like growth,
literally.
man.
So it's your drive hormone. So women have it too. And when it's low or high, which can happen in PCOS, libido can take a hit. Yep. So again, you can see how each of these like hormones impact so many different things.
Yeah. Then you have your one word I can't pronounce.
Progesterone.
Pronounce.
We're doing well today with our speaking.
Let's go back to school.
Progesterone.
So basically it's like your calming, feel-good hormone. And when you are going into your cycle, when you get PMS, that drops. Anxiety increases, and that's why you don't feel as good and you feel flat because that hormone drops.
Yeah. And
I would love for that to come up right now.
Yeah, because I feel like with my PCOS early days, progesterone was on the ground.
I would actually love to get a blood test right now, like 2 days before, and see where my progesterone is.
Yeah.
Because I reckon it'd be really low.
So hard because when you want, like as females, when you're getting a full hormone blood panel done, like you have to almost get it done like every week to figure out like where you are in your cycle.
Yeah.
And then if you've got irregular cycles like me, like how do you know when to get, like it's so confusing.
My coach says day 2 and day 3 are the best time to get your bloods done for hormone work.
Maybe I'll do that next cycle.
Yeah. I would
because I haven't
recommend.
checked in a while.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see mine
But yeah,
too.
for me, progesterone was really, really low early days of being diagnosed, like hence why like severe depression, anxiety, constant like just emptiness inside this little heart.
All right. So
I feel like I haven't stopped.
what can we do to help everything? And we basically have touched on like a lot of that, but like we have said, it's overall just like your stress management, supporting your nervous system, making sure you're eating good food, and training at a moderate level, obviously dependent on your sport and things like that and your current goals. Cycle tracking as well is a huge aspect that's really going to help you figure out why your libido is up, why it's down, and even just knowing like when you are ovulating for safer sex at the same time.
Literally. And the last one, like as I said, there's so many things you can start literally today to improve libido, improve so many different things. But one thing I do also stand by is test, don't guess. I guess like for a long time I was just guessing everything and trying to do so many different things, but like your results aren't going to lie, whether that be blood tests, gut microbiome, hormone panels, whatever it is that you're going to do. It's going to give you so much more of a clear indication, especially if you're working with a health professional, to figure out what direction you need to go. Because there's so much information out there. There's so many professionals out there that will tell you a million different things, but until you find what's actually going on inside your body and what your body needs, it's probably going to be hard to get to the bottom of it.
One more thing I want to end on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you find it really interesting when you don't want to have sex with your partner, you know you still love them, you know that you still want to be with them forever, and if they propose to you right now, you'd say yes. But if they say no to sex, your world is ending.
Yeah.
But if you say no,
it's fine.
It's so fine. That gets me every time. I'm like, he actually hates me.
I don't think Jackson's ever said no.
He has once. I know exact situation. I remember you texting me.
When was it?
You got dressed in the...
Was that this year?
No.
It
only happened once to me as well. And then we ended up in 30 minutes. He just had to finish something. He was in the middle of
I'm
work.
glad you remember Excito.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I can tell you the situation.
I mean, sure. I haven't told every fucking else on the podcast.
You put pink lingerie on.
When I just bought that? Yeah, I do remember that.
That's the only time I remember.
Were we staying at a hotel?
I think so. Yeah, you weren't at home.
Yeah.
You went
I vaguely
somewhere.
remember.
Yeah.
Ugh, bloody hell.
Love being girl.
Love being girl.
Being girl.
Anyway, I feel like, again, it's such a taboo topic. And even at the start, like, just saying sex over and over again is just
I
like,
know.
what?
Sex, orgasm, you're like,
literally. But again, like, it's a conversation that needs to be had. Yeah. And I know a lot of you are probably listening going, wow, like, I'm not the only one. Or, you know, it is normal and these things do happen. And I think to have these conversations out loud and, like, just speak about it, like, the more normal it will become.
100%.
And the, like, less pressure you take off yourself around the whole situation, which will probably lower your stress.
Yeah, literally. It's always such an awkward topic, but the more you talk about it with your friends, your partner more specifically, it's going to help you guys so much. So
100%.
We hope you love this episode as much as we did, because I love listening to episodes like this from other people. Same. It's so interesting.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be straight back in your ears on Thursday for our mini episode.
Yes, we will be.
Love you so much.
And we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.